This would be great to take to a football party, and the crowd's gonna love them. So I started out with 1 can of pink salmon. Let's go ahead and put the liquid that's in the can of salmon in a bowl. And you want this because it adds moisture to your salmon. And if you don't like to do that, you can always just add a little bit of water. Then once you've got your salmon out, go ahead and take all the black skin off and take the bones out. Now, some people like to leave it in, and you do you, but if you want to take this for a crowd to enjoy, then I suggest taking the bones out because the majority of people that I know do not like the bones in them. And y'all, don't give me grief over that. I know there's a lot of nutrition in the bones. Then we are going to add 1/3 cup of flour, self-rising flour. I'm using White Lily. 1/3 cup of cornmeal mix. That is Martha White. You can always just use cornmeal. That's your choice. You do you. This is just what I do. And then add 1 egg. And at this point, you could add whatever your heart desires. A lot of people like to add onions. I've heard of people adding Cajun seasoning, dill weed, even lemon juice. What do you add to yours? I think onion and Cajun seasoning would be so good in this. But since I'm just making these for my husband and I, then I didn't add it because he doesn't like anything added to them. Let's give this a mix, and I like to mix mine really well so there's no chunks in it. And then I'm going to use a large cast iron pot. You could use a cast iron skillet if you would like. And I'm a Southern girl, and I do recommend using canola oil to fry anything. This is the key to making fried foods crispy. Here's a tip for you. Keep your hands wet when you're rolling these out into a ball, and they won't stick to your hands, but we're going to roll these into a 2-inch ball. You want to make sure your oil is hot before you drop your first one in. I start my oil off on high until it gets to popping, then I lower the temp down to right below medium, and you might have to bump it from medium to a little over medium heat as you're frying. And I know all you seasoned cooks already know that, but we've got some new cooks amongst us. And then once I've got them in my cast iron pot, I went ahead and I just turned them over after, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. It's not going to take long because these are tiny. And I have about 3 inches of oil in this cast iron pot. You will know these are done when they get a pretty golden brown and start looking like they're going to pop open. And you will want a plate with a paper towel on it to lay them on to get some of the oil out of them. And we're ready for that last ingredient, salt. Salt these like you would French fries, and voila, they're ready to be served. And they are so delicious like this. They're so crispy, crunchy, salty, and addictive.